Shot score! Do it again. Shot score! Do it again. Skating to the ice. 1,000 miles an hour. Don't burn my die in a nuclear war. Shot score! Do it again. Shot score! Do it again. Skating to the ice. Across the left view. Pass it right back and I'll put it in the net. Shot score! Shot score! Shot score! Shot score!
Hi folks, and welcome to another edition of InsideHockey.tv. I'm Kevin Greenstein, the editor-in-chief of Inside Hockey, and I'll be your host today. Joining me today is Tim Rosenthal, Inside Hockey's NCAA editor. What we're going to talk about is the Northeast Regional of the NCAA Road to the Frozen Four. Tim, let's talk first about Boston University against Ohio State. What do you think is going to happen in that matchup?
I do think BU will certainly come out on top. It might be a little tougher challenge for them, not facing Ohio State this time this year, or any time in the NCAA tournament for that matter. But here's what they got going. They know the CCHA pretty well with Michigan State and Michigan already faced them in October. However, they might not know this team with a lot of freshmen and not too many seniors, but this is a fast team. It can match up with BU in speed, I think. But at the same time, I don't know if Ohio State can outmuscle them for sure.
Now, is there a player who's the key to the success for the Terriers? Is there one player you think, if he plays well, it's going to make all the difference in the world for them?
I look at a bunch of players playing well, to tell you the truth. Certainly Colin Wilson, Matt Gilroy, Hobie Baker candidates have been the forefront of the team. However, you got to look at Kieran Milan, Hockey East MVP, the backbone, and that is a huge difference this year, according to Coach Jack Parker at BU. And reason being was last year's goaltending situation was an absolute mess.
Right.
And this year, he's straightened the goaltending situation out. Milan and Graham Rollheiser did play both from time to time, and Rollheiser even played the last game of the year against Providence to give Milan a rest. But Milan took over his starting position probably around December or January, and ever since he hasn't let it up. So Milan, big difference in that.
Now let's look at Ohio State. When we're looking at this team, what is the key for them in terms of the possibility of pulling off what would be an enormous upset?
Zach Delpe. I mean, he's probably the biggest difference maker as far as freshmen are concerned, maybe in the country. There are certainly some other talented freshmen out there too. I'm not throwing them under the bus, but Delpe was the biggest difference maker for Ohio State's success, I think, this year. For them to play well, Ohio State has to have Delpe play an enormous game, maybe a hat trick, 4 goals, I don't know, but we'll see.
Now, the other matchup we've got, perennial superpower, North Dakota, is going against the hometown team, New Hampshire. What do you think is going to happen in that matchup?
Well, New Hampshire, let me tell you, they have to win a game in Manchester before I'm sold on that, because they're 0-2 all-time in the Northeast Regional in Manchester. So that's a fact you got to look out for. North Dakota this year got, again, struggled early on, got hot late, but the last 2 games they didn't do so well against Minnesota, Duluth, and Wisconsin in the WCHA Final Five. So that's going to be a factor, I think, on what team shows up, how they're going to play, if they're going to play the up-tempo style, if Brad Eidsness is going to be the backbone again in that, and we'll see.
Is there a situation, some portion of the game that you think if North Dakota controls it, they win the game? If they fail to control it, that's it?
Yeah, I certainly agree with that. I mean, for the games they play against Colorado College in particular, I think, and Minnesota, and a couple other victories down the road, Denver, they controlled the game. They controlled the series. That's why they got 3 points or even a sweep in those series. So, I mean, North Dakota, if they control the game, it's over.
Now let's talk a little bit about New Hampshire and the idea that they're actually playing in front of the hometown crowd at the Verizon Wireless Center. What do you think the effect of the home ice advantage is going to be for them? Is it going to be a help or a hindrance in the early going?
Could be a hindrance for that matter. I mean, we saw in 2004 against Michigan, certainly didn't help. Michigan blew them away. 2007, different story. Miami got off to an early start. UNH came back late, didn't get the job done. And it'll be interesting to see how they perform in Manchester, because all time they're a disaster there. Even in the state of New Hampshire, they're a disaster. They lost to Maine early this year in February, and they certainly didn't look good at all from what I heard from reports in that game.
All right, so let's get your predicted results for these two matchups. Boston University against Ohio State. Final score?
BU 4-1. I'll keep it a little closer this time.
All right, and North Dakota, New Hampshire.
I'll say North Dakota 4-2.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining us, Tim. And thank you all for joining us for this segment of InsideHockey.tv recorded at Studio 73 in downtown Boston. I'm Kevin Greenstein, and for Tim Rosenthal, thanks for joining us.